Hey guys, today we're going to do an iMovie tutorial. So I kind of threw together a quick list of stuff that I wanted to cover. Just the basics of how to edit videos and most of the stuff that I know how to do with iMovie. So I've got iMovie and Final Cut Pro on here. iMovie is the free video editing software from Apple, and Final Cut Pro is their paid video editing software. I've been using Final Cut Pro more lately, and as I get better with it, that's mostly what I use these days. But if you don't want to pay for it or deal with something complicated, iMovie is a great choice. iMovie is incredibly powerful and deserves a lot of credit. And this is what I started with. Yeah, I'm gonna cover iMovie today. We're gonna throw together a quick sample movie. We're gonna learn how to do transitions, handle multiple tracks, cut tracks, embed tracks, one track within another. Like if you record you'll see what I mean. We're gonna do watermarking, like putting your logo on a video. Talk about putting an intro in and removing the sound, like if there's a lot of noise, or if you just don't want the sound in there. We're going to talk about downloading free audio, adding music, and adding a logo. Yeah, the logo that's the same thing that I meant when I said watermarking. But yeah, anyway, so I put that on my list twice as two different things. So let's fire up iMovie. So here we are in iMovie and a whole bunch of projects that I did on various things. Now we're going to open up, all right, so we're going to create a new movie. So say movie, not trailer. I honestly have no idea what a trailer is, but a movie is normally what you want when you're creating a video. All right, so we've got a new movie created, and it's called My Movie 2. We don't want that, so we're going to try to actually give it a real name. So there's probably an obvious way to do this, but basically when you exit out of the movie and go back to projects, it's going to ask you to save it. But I like to do this before I actually add any tracks or do anything. So I'm going to call this demo. So call it demo, and there's demo, our movie demo. So go back, click on it again, and go back into it. And it has this media selected that I added a long time ago. I don't know why that's even still there. All right, so anyways, I have a couple Finder windows open. Let's see here. We're gonna go to. All right, I'm gonna choose. Yeah, demo. That's the one I want. All right, so demo. I'm gonna basically install. So I'm gonna create my main track as. Let's see here. Click on this. Drag. Why am I not able to drag today? Drag this track in. There we go. So that's a screen recording. Now the other videos, I'm going to do a little bit of a few different things. So I'm going to grab these videos. I'm just going to throw these in here for now. So throw this guy in and throw this guy in. So these are just random junk videos I recorded in the parking lot. And this first clip is a screen recording, and the last three are I recorded in the parking lot. So then I'm gonna so those four are MOV files. Well, MOV, and then a few MP4s. And then I have a PNG file. This is an image. It's a still image. This is gonna be our logo. So like if you had a company or something that you were branding, that's what that is. So there we go. Drag that right in, and we're gonna drag this right over here, and we'll get to that later. But that's gonna be like a logo that you see in the corner. Now, so that's pretty much all the media importing we're gonna do. Well, not quite. So I guess we'll get to music in a little bit. But all right. So for now. I guess we'll cover tracks at first. So one difference between iMovie and Final Cut Pro is you have fewer tracks in iMovie. So you have 2 sound tracks and 2 video tracks. So like notice how this thing with the smiley face is parallel to our regular desktop. So this is and you can move around through this whole thing at the bottom here is your timeline. And see how these 2 are parallel? They're parallel tracks. So one is overlaying the other, and you can only have 2 of those. All right, so Yeah, so the 2 tracks with Final Cut Pro, you can have as many as you want, as far as I know. So I can have like many things, and you'll see why this is an issue. But for now, let's talk about basic tracks. So when we have these 2 tracks, like we switch between these 2 things. So we put these together. Now watch how when I play this quick cuts away to this thing where I was in the parking lot, right? And then like one track cuts away to another. Now that's kind of suboptimal. So that's where, like, you don't want it to just cut away. Sometimes you do, but we have, if you go over to transitions over here, you get all these transitions. So we're going to try a few transitions. We're going to try the cube. You just click on it and drag it over to here, and then you can say like do the, now a little bit, if you do a cross dissolve, this is a little bit more subtle. So we can drag that and put that there, and then you can do what else is good? Yeah, let's just do a spin out. All right, so these are transitions, right? Now if you place it here and you start, this is where we're going to play from, and you watch the transition between those 2 little clips, you see it's like a cube rotating. That's pretty neat. Now go over here, and this just fades one into the other. That's kind of nice. And then, you know, it's a little bit more subtle. It's not like as, and there we go. This one it just zoomed into the other video clip like that. And you'll get more transitions with Final Cut Pro. You can click on the transition and say delete, and then you can say cross dissolve is 1. We tried that. Cross blur, I think, is a little bit more. Let's try this. See, this one just blurs into another thing, so it's not a quick cutaway. Compare that to this cross dissolve, which is, you know, they're kind of over. It's different. I think the cross blur is a little bit more subtle. If you want to be subtle, you could be flashy or you could be subtle, up to you. I actually really like this. If you do want fun transitions, the swap is a nice one. So did I delete this properly? All right, delete that. Drag a swap in, and let's try this. So the swap is kind of a nice one. Swap out like that, and then the cube is a nice one. Now really, you're not supposed to go crazy with the transitions. If you're like I guess professional video editors look down on that or whatever. I don't know, like you don't see it on TV that much, but I think they're loads of fun because I'm a beginner, and I do kind of go crazy with them. But let's see, you can also cut your video, like pretend, now this is just a random screen capture of me looking at Google Maps for no reason, just for this demo, but let's pretend you made a mistake in your video, or you did something stupid that you want to cut out, or there's something you just don't want in your video. You can cut it like this. You can, all right, you can say split clip. All right, so that's Command B, so, and it splits it right there. Now you could place it here, hit Command B again, and there you go, you split this out. Now you could click on this and say delete, and you just deleted that section that was messed up. Now maybe you didn't think that was a bad section, so you could hit Control Z again to get it back. Now if you click before we cut that cut line, you don't need to put a transition there, because it's actually just it's not 2 separate clips with anything different. So like it's not like you're cut. Well, I'll show you. It's still the same clip. It doesn't interrupt it. See how you don't even notice that when you play that? There's no difference. It's not like you're jumping from one clip to another. So now let's say one reason to cut this is like if you wanted to delete this clip right here because you had a mistake or you just don't want it in your video. But another reason, like you could take this and drag it over to another part of your, like you could drag this over to here, and that way you could, and let's just add another transition just to always have transitions. Now we took it out of here. Now this is going to have a jump now, because not a big one because it's the same screen, but it's going to have a little bit of a jump. So we could add a transition there now, since I pulled this whole piece out. Now you could be, that way we can take a piece of video from here and drag it and stick it over here on our timeline. We can play that and we can see cut away from this back to our screen capture, and then cut away from the screen capture back to the parking lot. That's pretty neat, right? So What else? So let's say if we wanted to do, one thing you want to do with your videos, if you have a long video, you might want to show the highlights of the video, show like what people should expect to kind of get someone hooked at the beginning so that they'll want to watch the rest of your video. So you might take let's say this was the best part of your video, you might click on this and hit Control C. Now bring it back over to the beginning over here. Not Control C, Command C on a Mac, and then Command V to paste it over there. And then say you want to take this clip, Command C, go to the beginning, Command V. And this could be like your intro. These are like the highlights or the best part of your video to show at the beginning, and then you'll let the whole, the whole rest of your video play. So that's that. Let's cover watermarking. So the whole purpose of this thing here is a watermark, right? Now you see, like if we place this before here, you don't see that overlay. Now hit play, and this secondary track pops in right at that point, and when you get to the end of it, it's gone. So if you want that to cover more of an area, you can drag that all the way to the beginning and all the way. We're not going to go to the end. You would, but with a watermark. But this is supposed to be like our logo. So go to the beginning, and you'll see the whole thing is there through the beginning. Now this looks terrible. You wouldn't want this on as a watermark blocking up your whole video. So and this is done pretty differently and kind of differently in Final Cut Pro. I'm used to, it's been a while, I've been using Final Cut Pro mostly lately. But you'll notice two things to notice. One, it's big, covering your whole screen, and two, this thing slowly moves as it progresses. Now it's like it's moved a while away. So you're going to want to click on this, and you're going to go over to this thing up here, video overlay settings, and instead of cutaway, you're going to say picture in a picture, and now it's smaller. Now you could adjust it to be however big you want. We're going to make it small and up in the corner. You're going to make it small and down here. Now that's not our entire picture. It actually has like some words at the bottom, but you'll see. Now there's a thing that makes that a problem, and let's see, if we go over to this thing right here, this little icon right here, there's some options. Now it has a Ken Burns effect selected by default. Now in Final Cut Pro, you can do that, but it's not selected by default. Some people like it for certain like animations or whatever, it's great, but for like a logo where you're like putting a watermark on your video, you don't want that. Like that drives me crazy. So I hate that thing. So instead of Ken Burns, where it slowly moves throughout the duration of the clip, we're gonna just say fit. So fit will make it just a regular square. Now we're gonna go back to this little icon over here, and now we see it over here. Now we're gonna make sure this thing isn't moving. So we're gonna click at the beginning of the track, and you see, okay, it didn't move or change size or anything. Go to the end, and yep, it's still in the same place, didn't move or change size. That's what we want. Now once that clip ends, that little watermark is gonna go away. Now, normally with watermarks, you do the whole video, but let's see here. We're gonna take this thing, so click on this. Now if you wanna change the size or move this around, you wanna make sure you don't block the rest of your video. You generally go up to this little icon up here, click on it, and then it'll let you move this thing around. You can put it in the middle, you can put it on the upper corner, lower corner. We're gonna put it in the lower corner for now. Now if you look at it, you might want to make it bigger, or you might want to use a different image. At the bottom here I have words that say http://mysite.com. That's just like, you could put, if you had a website or something, you could put that down there. You could put whatever words you want so people know what site this is associated with. And this would be like your logo here. And maybe you only want the logo, maybe you only want the URL, whatever you want to do. You could change the size to make it bigger so people can read it. Now if that's that's too big and it covers your video, but you want people to read it, you get rid of this logo and put like only the URL there. However you want to do that. I'm going to leave that small for now. And one more thing I'm going to try to cover is doing it like a video in a video. So I'm going to take this clip, and let's say instead of putting that as a clip in the timeline like this on the same track, we're going to move that up to our second. We're going to click on this and drag it up to our second track here. Now what happens when you have an actual video? Now this smiley face thing, our logo, is an image. It's a PNG image. It doesn't move. It's not a video. But this is an actual video track. Now we see we'll be right here in this one parking lot clip, and now all of a sudden it will cut away to this other parking lot clip. It's the one in the second track, and then cuts back. Now that's probably not what you want, but there's a use for this. Now you can click on this second one and go back up here to these effects. See this little button here, and now instead of cutaway, say picture in a picture. Now we have the same thing we had before. Now go over here, it's set to fit already. You don't have to get rid of Ken Burns. I guess that's the default with a video rather than with a, so you can click on this. Now see, this is a little video thing, and you can put this anywhere you want. You can put this like over here. Now this is a lot of times you'll use this is like if you have one camera recording your face while you're talking and another camera is recording your desktop or something over here, you can have both of those videos playing at once. You can have one where you're talking in a little square here and another where you're sharing your desktop here, or you might be like showing a video of something here but you're talking over here. So and you'll have that for a little while. So let's place this right before it and let's play that to see how that looks. Play it and watch. Boop, the little square pops up over here showing this other video. And then once it's done, boom, it disappears. So you have a video within a video. Now let's say if you wanted to put this same thing, let's say you want to drag this over here. See, that's a problem. You can't have 3 tracks. You only have 2 video tracks. So if you want a video in a video with your face talking, so yeah, that's not what we wanted to do. All right, so if you want your face talking on the video, if you want like a screen capture and your face talking and your watermark, you can't do all 3 of those things with iMovie. That's a limitation of iMovie. But with Final Cut Pro, I do that a lot. It lets you have as many tracks as you want. I don't know if there's a limit, but I've gone up to like I think 7 or so. Just stacking different things on the screen. But yeah, see, that's an unfortunate thing with iMovie. Now let's move this out of the way for now. Now to zoom out, you'd hit Command, and then you can like scroll with your mouse wheel. I think this worked in Final Cut Pro. All right, I think Command minus will zoom out, and then Command plus will zoom in. Command minus to zoom out. Those are the keyboard shortcuts. All right, I'm going to drag this whole track to the end. There we go, click on the edge of that, drag it to the edge of your video, and it usually just snaps right to the edge of where your video is. Now, if you do that, now let's zoom out a bit. Now you have this little, throughout your whole video, you have this nice little logo showing, who made the video. That way, like you upload this to YouTube, someone can't just download your video and pretend they're the person who made it. If they do download it, it's going to have your logo on it. So it's like giving you, it's like promoting you. It's like they're promoting your site for free. That's how I would view it. And they're less likely to steal it and pretend it's theirs. But and plus it just helps people to remember what channel they're watching your video on, and that you're the one who made it. It's good for branding, all that. So many reasons. It's just good to have a little watermark with your logo. So you can put the logo throughout your whole video like that if you want. But if you wanted to do, now I do that always in Final Cut Pro, even when I have multiple tracks or a video within a video. So, and I showed you how to do a video within a video. I'm going to do that same demo, but I'm going to just drag this track and put it over the screen capture, because I think that's a better demo for that. Now just drag this thing like this, and I think it just automatically stopped on me when it hit this transition. It it doesn't want to go over the transition for whatever reason. I don't know why I don't know. Maybe it's an iMovie thing. I don't remember that being an issue before. Will this let me? No, it does not want to go over the clip boundary. I probably haven't played with iMovie enough to know why that is, but yeah, I definitely don't have that issue in Final Cut Pro. So anyways, go here and click on this, and go back up to here like I showed you before. Instead of cutaway, say picture in a picture, and so bring this thing down. Let's say put it down here. Now let's place this before here and watch this. So now we have our desktop screen capture. Hit play, and it's capturing our screen, and then bam, this little video within a video shows up here. So we could be showing something else happening while we're showing what's on our desktop, or it could be like this could be like a picture of us talking while we're showing what's on our desktop, whatever. But that's a common thing people like to do. All right, so so if you did want to use a watermark and you didn't want this for your whole video, you might do something like take this watermark and just, bring it to the edge here, and you might Control C and place it up here. Then you can drag this to the end of the video, and notice I'm able to, with this image, I'm able to just drag this right over these transitions and across clips. For whatever reason, that stupid thing didn't want me to, I don't know why it didn't want to let me do that. Like doing that with an image, it just doesn't want to let me do that. Yeah, I had absolutely no issue with that in Final Cut Pro. Don't quote me on that. Maybe I haven't played with a video within a video enough in Final Cut Pro, but I don't remember having that as an issue. Anyways, yes, you could go like this. You could drag this over. Then your logo is showing in the bottom there. You play through, and then the logo goes away. Your video shows up in the corner here. When you're done with that, it cuts back to your logo. So that's one way you could do that. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is audio. Now, let's say if the sound in your video is too low. Now, you look at this clip, you'll notice it's relatively quiet, but this thing at the bottom is your audio. Now, you can click on this line here and drag it. Can you drag it up in iMovie? Yeah, you can drag it down to reduce the sound, or up to increase it up to 400%. So you're going to be 4 times louder if you drag that up. So that's the max you can increase your voice by. Now for audio, you could go over to this little audio button right here and see there's a little slider. So that's per clip, that's not for your whole video. So you'd have to do that for each clip. Now you could highlight 2 clips, go up to audio, and you could drag the audio up to 400% for both of them. So say if your voice came out too quiet, you could drag it up higher. As long as you don't have too much noise in the background or you have a good mic, you can just drag it up higher to 400%. Now, these little, if you look at the audio, these little yellow peaks on the audio wave here, this is actually that's where like your voice will start cracking or whatever. Like you'll start to hear it not sound quite right on your speakers because it's too loud. So generally, like in those spots, you would want to lower it. So you could cut this out into a separate clip and lower the audio just at that part if you want to. But play through it, see how it sounds. You might not want to do it. I'm not going to show you how to do that on here because I generally don't get that granular, but you can. What else do we want to cover here? So that's audio. Now you can remove the audio. So you could click on this and say detach audio if you want to, and there you have a separate audio clip. Now that's easier to see. Now see how you have these little peaks here? Now actually, you know what? Maybe I will show you how to do that. So say if you click on this and hit Command B, now click over here, Command B. Now I have a separate thing. Now you could drag the sound down here so it's not peaking. That way it's not going to sound bad when someone turns the volume up on their speakers. And then you could keep the sound up at 400% on this clip and up at 400 on this one. But this one you're going to drag it down to, wherever you think is good. Yeah, wherever you want it. But so you can control that individually. And these clips are, so long as they're right next to each other, and you could say if you said something stupid, but you don't want to cut the actual video out and you only want to cut the sound out. Like say you made a mistake or you said something stupid or someone said, hey, don't record this, or oh, are you making another? Yeah, well, one way or another. Like if there's something you can't have on your video, you click here and say delete, and you can cut out sound there. Now it's if you have sound throughout your video and all of a sudden it's silent, it's going to sound a little weird, but you can do that. All right, so another thing you can do. All right, so I haven't covered audio yet, so go here and I'm going to go up to the music folder. Now I got all of this music. We're going to show you how to get that in there, but let's click on Chrome. Now if you go to, I'm going to have this link. If you click the link in the description, I'm going to have all the details, like a link to YouTube, to this audio library. It's not hard to find, but click the link in the description. It'll bring you to my web page, and on my web page on my website, it's going to have a link to this YouTube audio library. But this is all free sound that you're completely, it's like royalty free stuff you can download. You can download all these songs and incorporate them into your YouTube videos for free. And and you have sound effects too. You have sound effects and music, and you're completely allowed to add these to your videos, and you're not going to get like have a copyright issue or anything like that. Looks like they don't want to. Yeah, there we go. They're loading. So I'm tethering off my cell phone right now. So that's where you can get free audio. So I go through these and play them, find the ones that I like, and download them all into a folder, into a music folder. So let's minimize this and look over. This is my music folder. Now I have two music folders. This is the older one. Now these are a bunch of songs that I found on that free YouTube library, that free YouTube music library. And you can use all of these. These are the ones that I downloaded. So you could, like, for example, click on this song. Now anything that's an MP3, you can drag it in. Now if you're doing YouTube videos and you use copyrighted MP3s, there's a good chance that you're going to you get like a copyright strike. So anyways, all right, so yeah, so this is our track right here. This is our music track down here, this soundtrack below. So and you get this track above here is just the sound from our video, background noise and whatever talking you have and stuff like that. So you could play these at the same time if you wanted. So you could drag like the music track to the beginning, and let's zoom out here real quick. All right, so this music track happens to be longer than my entire video, so you would want to shorten it like this. Whoops. Yeah, not what I want. That's something else I'm going to show you how to do. All right, so zoom in here. Oops. And there we go. Just align it to the end. So the audio is going to just cut off right at the end of the video. But now you could actually, now what I was going to look at before, there's a little thing here you can grab and bend it that way. And that should cause it to, like, let's see how that works. So the music is going, and the volume should go down, and it should fade out slowly, I think. Or not. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's slowly fading out, even though the song... So watch, if we didn't do that, you get to the end and the music's just going to cut off. So see how the music just cuts out instantly, and then it goes back to the beginning of the whole video. But yeah, so you use this little thing here so that you can gradually fade the music out instead of cutting it off at the end. Now let's pretend this whole thing went way longer and you only have this one music track. Well, what you can do is you can copy and just, paste it at the end there and make sure you put it, yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Oh yeah, because since it's only one track at the end here, it's yeah, it just puts it on the top. All right, so then you could like paste another one, and I don't know why it doesn't want me to stick that at the there we go. Nope. I've never attempted to move sound that far past the end of the video, but for whatever reason it doesn't want me to do that. All right, anyways, you get the idea. Basically, you just keep pasting them on the end. In fact, I'm going to make this video longer. I don't know why it's behaving like that. That's so I'm just going to make this a really long video. Now, I've done this with like 2-hour-long videos where I have to copy and paste like a ton of songs into it. So it's like a soundtrack. So, all right. Anyway, and a lot of times I won't use the same, you don't want the same song to go over and over. So you might put 2 songs in there. All right, so say for example, you paste it right in here, go to the end of that track, paste it in there, and there you go. Now, what else could you do? And how much did I shorten this? Anyways, you can paste this song at the end here, right? So when these two songs come together, these two clips come together, you'll notice the audio kind of fades out and it gets really quiet. Now, depending on how long that goes for, that might be too long. So anytime you stick two clips together, you can maybe go like this so it doesn't fade out too much. Take your other clip and just sort of drag it to right there. So that way there isn't so much of a gap between the two soundtracks. And it still gets a little quiet, and then the music starts up again. Now, this is we're using the same song, but I'm going to show you just to show you. I mean, it's the same thing, but you could, if you wanted, it works the same way. But I'm going to try dragging another song in there. So, all right, go back to music and say we want to grab in, like, say, digital memories, right? So just throw that on the end here and put it right here. And sometimes you can do this if it makes sense in the part of the video that you're in. You just, like, you know, say if there's like a faster paced part, you put faster music. If it's a slower pace, put slower music, whatever. You know, music that's appropriate for that part of the video, if you can. If not, if you have a really long video, maybe just switch it up and throw different songs all one after the other. But, you know, instead of repeating the same song. But it's up to you. So watch how this changes. So yeah, we have a whole different song in there. Anyway, yeah, so that's all fine and great and everything. I'm going to delete these, or sorry, I'm not going to delete these, but yeah, I'm going to delete these later clips just to, you know, neaten things up and simplify it a bit. Now let's yeah, I'm going to actually delete all this extra junk that I threw in here too. Now coming back to where we were before, let's zoom. So yeah, that one track takes up the whole, is longer than the whole video. So we were back here. Now notice these clips right here. So this was my voice clip, right? Or the, you know, the sound from the video, and we had actually cut a section out in the middle here. Now these two sound clips go with this video clip. Now this video clip still has some that you could cut out. So if you wanted, you can detach the audio here, and yeah, look at that. It placed it like down below, but it's still that one track connected. Now you could detach the audio here. Now let's say if you decided you don't want any of the audio, like maybe you're just filming something in a really windy area and the audio is just terrible, or there's nothing really to listen to, or there's a bunch of people talking but it's not anything relevant to your video, and you just want to get rid of it, and you just want to overlay the entire video with music. So detach audio. You might want to go through all your clips and just say detach audio for every single one of them, and you can actually highlight, say, two clips at once and say detach audio, right? So you're going to detach all that audio, and then all that attached audio, you can go here. Now you could click on it and drag it down to have no sound at all. You can, like how I showed you before, you can adjust the volume on this, or you can, there you go. So you drag it down to 0% or up to 400. You could drag it to 0 to silence it, so you'll only hear the music. Or if you want, you can just delete it completely, which is, I think it's a little easier. If you know you don't want the audio, just delete it. So, like I'll take this and I will just delete that, and delete, yeah, just delete, lots of deleting. Yeah, so like take these first two, this first clip, like we cut that one section out of there. Say we just want to delete that whole thing, all that sound from the video. So now we don't have any of that sound we recorded in the video, and we only have the music, and that's it. So that's kind of a nice thing. I do that a lot of the time. Say if it's something like I'm in a noisy area, or for whatever the case is, maybe you're whatever the case. Say if you just want to get rid of it, just get rid of it and put music in there. If it's a video that makes sense with only music. If it's something where you're talking or you have to be heard, then you're kind of out of luck. And I mean, you might have both. Like say if you're talking, you might want to have like quiet music in the background. You could keep both tracks if you want. And you might actually lower the volume. Like say if you kept your voice, maybe you increase your voice to 400 to make sure people will hear you. You'll take the music and you'll actually take that and drag it down to like say maybe 40-30% or something, so it's quiet music in the background, so you can hear your voice when you talk, but when you stop talking you can hear some music, so it's not like really quiet when you're not talking. It's another thing you could do, but in any case, yeah. Alright, so the last thing you're going to want to do, like once you've got your video set up the way you want, you're going to want to actually export your video. So you're going to actually want to render this whole video into like a finished product. To do that, you're going to go to share, and you're going to, now it gives you some options. You could export, like you could email it, you could export it directly to YouTube if you want to set that up. I don't recommend exporting directly to YouTube because really you want to have a file on your computer just to actually have the file that's your finished product. In case you want to upload it somewhere else besides YouTube, or in case you just want to like show it to people on your local PC, or you want to have it independent of YouTube, you want to render it to a file, not directly to YouTube. Plus it's almost basically just as easy to render it to a file and then upload that file to YouTube. So there's that. So and you could have it prepare for Facebook and all these other things. Don't do those. Just click on File. So you click on the share thing, click File. Now it's going to give you some options. You can select the resolution. This is the resolution we want. You can select the quality, high, and you can select compress. You can say faster or better quality. Probably either one, up to you. You probably won't notice the difference. Yeah, just make sure you have the right resolution, which it should pick up automatically. And let's see, as far as the quality, just select high. You don't want to, I wouldn't pick anything below high. And now high is actually, it's still going to give you a decent sized file, but the quality is going to be good. If you go for best ProRes, it's going to make a ridiculously gigantic file that you don't really want. In almost any case that I can think of, there's no good reason to do that, so I just avoid that. When you click quality, you could also select custom, and this will allow you to, increase the bit rate, and you can almost go up to 30 megabits. And that's the last thing that I wanted to show. That's pretty much it. So you can increase the bit rate or decrease it to a custom value, and you could, what else? So it's worth noting, I think even when I increase the bit rate to the max, it still is a smaller file than if you choose ProRes. Apple's ProRes is just a crazy, ridiculously high, it makes gigantic files. And I don't know enough about it, but I can't see any reason to do that. It'll take a tiny video and make it bigger, and I don't even know where it's getting all that extra data. But that's just, I guess, my lack of knowledge, but you'll be more than fine using high quality. Like if you're uploading it to YouTube anyways, that's going to be higher than whatever YouTube does. YouTube is going to take away some of the quality no matter what. So I would go with high, and then I would say next, and it's going to let you pick a location. Like you could just export this to your desktop. You're going to hit save, and now it's going to start rendering for you. Now you click on this little circle up here, and you can see what it's doing. It's exporting demo, it's writing. So if you want to check the progress of your video, like if you want to see if it's really exporting or how far along it, see this is the little pie chart looking thing. It's going to go around, and when it's done exporting, that thing's going to be done. So you click on it, and it's going to say, see, it shows you approximately 2 minutes left. There's this little pie chart thing, and that's going to move along as it renders your video, and when it's done, it should pop up a little thing saying your video's done rendering, and you'll find your video in a file on the desktop. It's that file that you selected when we exported it. It's that file. It's just going to write it out to that file, and that's going to be your finished product. All right, and this is our finished file. It's actually still writing to it, but it gets exported to the desktop and it's this demo.mp4. That's our finished product. Once it finishes writing, that's going to be our finished product, and that's it. You'll see this when it finishes rendering. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. So hopefully you found this video useful. Maybe in the future I'll do a similar video for Final Cut Pro. Let's take a quick look over at Final Cut Pro. Let's see here. So I actually have Final Cut Pro open on my over here on this other desktop. So this is kind of, it's laid out a little bit differently. The tracks are different. Let's see, the what else? Yeah, this one's not a terribly elaborate video, but let me see if I have, well, yeah, we don't need to go over that. Maybe I'll do that in a future video. But anyways, if you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more things like this, actually we probably won't have anything exactly like this, except I might do a Final Cut video in the future. I might do some website building videos, and I might do some graphic design videos. But other than that, mostly this channel is focused on like servers and computers and technology and like coding and like building robots, electronics, blah, 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 like all sorts of stuff like that. So if you're into like technology stuff, definitely subscribe and hit the little bell icon. If you're not, and maybe you just want to be subscribed anyways, you're curious about like the upcoming, we're going to do a little bit more video editing related stuff. And if you want to see that stuff, subscribe. Maybe you'll see some tech stuff that you might be interested in, and you'll most likely see that Final Cut Pro video when I do put it out, if I do put it out. And I'm also definitely planning on doing some graphic design instructions. So I'm probably going to do a Final Cut Pro video, and I'm going to do a GIMP video. GIMP is like a free version of Photoshop. I think it's better because you're not tied into the Adobe Creative Cloud. So it has some serious advantages, and it can mostly do everything you want unless you're actually a professional in the industry where you're forced to use Photoshop. And it does have a few things that make it like better for an actual professional in terms of like compatibility and certain features. But that's another one I wanted to do. So I'm going to do like website building, I want to do graphic design, and Final Cut Pro. So you can expect to see those coming up on this channel at some point. And other than that, we're going to do a lot of just tech stuff in general, but not necessarily video editing. But any case, if you have any questions or have any comments, criticism, or anything else, leave a comment down below. And as always, we hope you enjoyed watching this video and hope to see you next time.